I started playing games because I wanted to escape something. But as time has passed, I've realized more about exactly what it was that I was trying to escape and came to understand more about why that's so important. I think when I was a teenager, I played games maybe because they were cool, but also because they gave me an opportunity to feel like I could be in control of something, and I didn't feel like I was in control of anything in my life. And I know a lot of teenagers feel that way. And I especially felt that way because I was kept in a really um, isolated kind of environment as a kid. I wasn't allowed to have any friends. I was homeschooled and had a parent who didn't really teach me anything. So I was kind of just stuck at home and I wasn't allowed to see anybody and I didn't have any interactions with anybody. So that was kind of a weird childhood situation, and that fostered the environment of wanting to play games as a way to escape. Then, of course, life happened and I did a lot of other things, and there was quite a long period of time where I didn't play games at all or very little. And then I was busy with work, and I like to kind of look for cell phone games or something I could play because cell phone games were more accessible. It was something I could play while I was at work or on a 15-minute break kind of situation, or while I was away from home. Um, I just didn't spend time playing games, for that about a decade or so because I had my mother living at my house, and I didn't ever feel like my home was really my own. So I would spend a lot of time at work, and then when I wasn't at work, I would usually want to be somewhere else. Maybe go on a road trip, maybe go to the city and hang out somewhere, eat out, whatever. Like I just didn't want to be at home. I wanted to find a place where I could escape that environment. And so that kind of, that had a lot of side effects of, being maybe a workaholic to a point because, that was a, something I could feel a little bit more in control of and I could give my time to, and it kept me away from home. And then I was always out doing things that weren't at home, and that kept me from really thinking too much about games, other than maybe a few cell phone games like a Township or a Farmville kind of game or something like that. Um, but then in more recent times, I've got back into gaming, and my life is, not my life is pretty quiet. I don't really have any relationships, so to speak. My work life balance is pretty reasonable. Not really a lot of concerns or worries, and I've had the ability to really kind of add up all the pieces and begin again after a lot of different things that have happened. You know, and now I look at gaming through a little bit of a different lens, and some of it is, you want to escape, I guess you want to be able to go into a world where you can control your destiny in a digital world. I guess like that is cool. But then I've also come to realize that there's another kind of escape that gaming makes possible, and that is creating a space that's more neutral. And the world has gotten so polarized. And actually, I take that back. It hasn't really gotten polarized. I guess it always has been. There's always been people that are really tribal about things, really obsessed with their own points of view, or whatever it is that, is important to them. That's not new. But it just feels like there's always a push to make something so important. It's like a religion, maybe it is a religion, but maybe it's a job, maybe it's judging people, whatever. It just seems like everybody is complaining about something, or they're chasing some career goals, or they're trying to measure up to their neighbors, or they're trying to tell you what you need to go do. Everyone has their 2 cents they want to chime in. They want to tell you what to do. They want to manipulate you. They want to push their political views on you or their religious views on you. And that can be a really deafening medley of distractions that keep you from having a sense of peace. But in the gaming circles, there's a certain unity that develops because it doesn't really matter what you believe. It doesn't really matter what your position on a lot of today's issues is. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't really matter if you're old or young. It doesn't matter if you're accomplished or not. In many ways, gaming is a social space that's actually fair and equal for the greater part. Doesn't mean there's not toxicity. Of course there is. But it's a space where we can be reminded to look up and broaden our horizons and be respectful of each other, be tolerant of real-world differences, and escape the temptation to be so obsessed with yourself, so obsessed with your petty pursuits, that you lose sight of things that really matter, like having a sense of peace, balance, and middle ground. So, as an adult today, yes, I think gaming is a wonderful way to escape. A wonderful way to keep yourself grounded and reminded that you don't have to be, I guess, afraid or concerned about all of the things that put pressure on you in real life. It's also a way to remember that a lot of things aren't really that important. Things that other people think are important. And I think that the degree to which gaming has helped me remember to always steer back towards center is something that transcends just trying to escape a bad day at work or just trying to escape a bad home life or something like that. It's a reminder that in a world filled with polarizing ideas and people that are chasing so many different things, you can take a little bit of a time out and you can imagine things that you really wouldn't be able to imagine in any other space. And I think imagination is really important. How many people go to work and they have a job and they think that that's their main purpose? Or, maybe some people just don't feel like they have any purpose. But gaming can remind you of that concept of nobility, of trying to be a hero to some degree. Not that you're better than other people, but to have a sense of wonder in the world. And to remember that you don't have to win to share something with a community of other people. To remember that we all have something in common with each other, and that at the end of the day, life is kind of like a game, and we're all going to wind up dead. We're all going to play for a little while, and then pass it on to somebody else. And whether you're gaming or whether you're just living, there's no reason to ever let yourself have a bad day. Just enjoy the experience and allow other people to play the way they choose to play. Don't feel like you're obligated to play a certain game because other people are playing that game, or that you're obligated to chase endgame because other people are doing that. Um, and I think that's an allegory for, you don't have to chase the career ladder. You don't have to try to measure up to your neighbors. You don't have to subscribe to other people's belief systems. You can just go out into the world and look for a sense of adventure and be lighthearted about all the things you do, just like you can in gaming. It's kind of it's a liberating thing to realize that you don't have to, you don't really have to be obsessed with any one thing in life. You can just enjoy your life and let it be what it is. So gaming it's an opportunity to escape from two different things, really. It's an opportunity to escape from things that maybe would weigh on your mind, to take your mind off of things. But even if your life is good, it's also an opportunity to escape fixation on one particular thing, that sense that you have to be more than what you are. That obsession with things that are so real that we think if they don't go our way, life is somehow broken. You have to just remember that your life is your own. You don't have to be a slave to anything. It's amazing how much mental space gets freed up when you realize you don't have to fix any problems. You don't have to answer for anybody's mistakes. You don't have to apologize for your past. You don't have to correct other people's inadequacies or incorrect ideas. You don't have to believe anything. You don't have to achieve anything. It's okay to just accept that you are enough exactly as you are. And then you go out there and you do whatever it is you're doing, put your heart into it, have fun with it. I'm not saying you don't try to do a good job at work. I'm not saying that you give up on your commitments. It's not like that. It's just you realize that you're free. Just like I probably play this game every day because I like it. But if I never played it again, that would be perfectly fine too. And it's just about the opportunity to be there and enjoy the experience and the ride along the way. And realizing that life is not as broken as I thought it was has really helped me go out into the world too and be a lot more relaxed and a lot more calm and not really worried about things. I've realized, you don't have to win in gaming, and you don't have to really win in life. And when you just have a lighter approach, then I think both wind up being a better experience overall than they are when you're trying super hard. But I think that people who have no time or space for imagination in their lives, who they're anti-gaming, they're anti-anything that's not serious, I think they miss out on a lot. Because every Monday, all the places where people go to work are filled with people working and being busy. And all the churches are filled up with people worshiping something on a Sunday. Try telling them that their career's not the only thing that's important in their life, or that whatever their religious leaders told them isn't the unequivocal truth or something. Try it, and you find how people are really, really obsessed with something all the time, I think. And that's not healthy. And it's not any more healthy than if you are addicted to some sort of a video game and you can't put it down, and you feel like if you don't climb the leaderboard your life is bad or something. No one's going to remember in the end. No one cares what your position is on the leaderboard. Nobody cares how many hours you spent at work. Nobody cares what your religious beliefs were. People act like they care because people like to meddle in things that are really none of their business, but in the end, nobody really cares about any of those things. All people care about is maybe how you made them feel along the way. If you were kind, or if you were uplifting, or if you were tolerant of them, like these things matter, I would say. It's like I think about content creators that I enjoy, and I think about how, I started watching most content creators because of something that they were talking about that was an interest. But in the end, I always continue to watch them because of who they are, because they are inspirational to me in some way. They are uplifting in some way. That's why you continue to watch them. It's not because of what their content is about. It's about who they are. And I think it's so important to be positive and light-hearted about life. Treat life a little bit like it's a joke, right? And you're probably going to be in a better position to actually give people good advice and to make good decisions yourself too. Because it's like when you start driving a car, you're so determined to drive the car good. Wears your hands on the steering wheel and check your mirrors, and it's signal at the right places and drive the speed limit. And then when you're actually a good driver, you don't think about any of those things. You just get in and you go. You're not stressing out over every little thing. You're just living your life. That's how it is. When you stop thinking that life is something you have to take seriously, then you make decisions that seem like they make sense, and then you let it be what it is. And usually that works out just as well in the end. So whatever you're doing, try to find peace in it. Try to enjoy it. Treat life like a game. And don't be ashamed to let games be part of your life. I think no matter what age you are, or no matter what your background is, I think everybody would stand to benefit a little bit from gaming, because it helps us to remember that no matter what our position in life is, we really don't need to take ourselves so very seriously that we can't have fun with each other and just have fun in general along the way. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.